everybody. Welcome back to Spiritual Growth Journeys. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kimberly Palm, and I have back today with me Amy Satori, the most wonderful, awesome psychic medium and card reader and love relationship expert. She's amazing with love and romance and all that stuff. That's her thing. And I have her back today. Last time I interviewed Amy, today we're going to have a discussion and we're going to use Amy's cards. So these are the cards that Amy actually designed. They're the world, kind of like where in the world cards or what in the world cards.
World truths cards.
World truth cards. These are world truth cards. So we're going to use these. So we're going to ask all kinds of questions about what's going on the planet right now to kind of make you guys give you a little peace of mind, I guess you can say. And the one thing I'm going to say is a disclaimer, and that's that this whole video is entertainment only. Amy and I, no matter how good our psychic skills are, we cannot guarantee timing of anything. We cannot guarantee what will happen. We are just kind of using these cards on a intuitive level to kind of help us determine what's happening and when and where, but it's no guarantee that it will happen. So none of you can come after me later in the comments and say, you said this was going to happen and it didn't happen. So don't do that, please. This is entertainment only. And hopefully it'll just give you some peace of mind. That's the main reason we're doing it, because there's just crazy stuff going on. But hopefully you'll have some peace of mind. And yeah, we're just going to do this and try it out and see what happens. So how are you doing today, Amy? Everything going okay in your neck of the woods in the US?
Well, in my position, I'm getting reports from everywhere. It's so, what always dawns on me is I look outside and it's so beautiful and the sun is shining and the birds are chirping. And there's just this beautiful element of nature just keeps on going, no matter what madness we're going through as humans. But it is very jarring and rattling to hear all the different reports and to try and sort it all through and to try to stay centered and grounded and to, it's being a space holder, can be quite a feat. I'm learning to master like being the center of the storm, really, because I think that's the best place to try to come from right now, is to stay just as neutral as possible so that we can examine everything from a really unbiased standpoint and to just really come from the heart instead of fear or any of that, because we think more clearly when we're not in a place of fear. So I try to stay as in the moment as possible at all times.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do too. And like, we went and walked through the woods a few days ago, and I tried to go out and sit on my lawn or walk barefoot or go up. There's this beautiful pine tree in my front yard that I have lots of trees in my front yard, but there's one in particular that I have like a little relationship with. Like, I go up and touch him. He has very masculine energy, but I go and I put my hand on him and tell him I love him and just connect with this tree. And because they have consciousness,
they do.
So
I have a favorite couple of trees too that I go lay under and look up at and talk to and take pictures of. And
I just go and I put my hand on him and I just ask him if I can connect to Mother Gaia through him and to his beautiful energy, and ask him if he has anything he wants to share with me, important. I have a lot of friends who actually treat what they call tree whisperers or tree talkers, and they actually get psychic intel from the trees. Like, the trees actually share information with them. And that's because awesome. The trees absorb all the consciousness of the universe. Not only are they providing us with oxygen on this planet, but they're sharing and absorbing all of the consciousness of the universe around them. So,
well, they have an extraordinary network and they connect with each other all over the world. So their roots expand way out, and they're like, hey, what do you guys have over there going on? And they're just like spreading all this information as well. So they're the little spies.
Now I have a client who does tree medicine. She actually is like a healer, and she uses tree medicine. And what it is the trees give her remedies for people. for
Oh, that's
different
so
health issues.
cool.
And then they're like Bach flower remedies, kind of similar to that,
Yeah.
except they're tree medicine remedies. And she makes them up. And she's been called to work with some of the like the more native people and the people who are kind of the off-grid people, like the Mennonites and the Hunnites and the, you know, all those kind of people, the farming kind of people that are off-grid and all that, who live the old-fashioned kind of lifestyle. She's been called to like do work, healing work in their communities, like more as a country, like a country healer or country, you know, kind of a thing, as opposed to her working with like the rest of us, like the rest of us. She's working in that community, I guess you can say,
That's
doing
awesome.
healing work with those people because they're more responsive to natural medicine and country remedies and that kind of thing than the rest of the world is. They're a little bit more responsive to it because that's how they live. They're very off grid, you know, the way they live and stuff.
Totally.
So, but she gets her remedies from the trees. She goes and she talks to the trees and communes with them. And then they give her remedies to treat different ailments. And she makes them up and gives and tries them out on herself and her family and whoever. And she's had a lot of success with it. It's been really good. So, yeah,
That's awesome.
but
anything natural we can do right now is awesome.
Right. Yeah, I'm sitting here playing with my cards while we're talking. So which question, so I don't know which question you want to ask first, but the burning question I have. So I watched a video this morning where the woman was talking about certain political results coming out today, and that if the news didn't share them today, the mainstream news, if they don't share that, they were basically threatened that the EBS will be sounded off. And then we'll go into those, what they call 10 days of darkness, where everybody's at home watching tribunals and all kinds of fun stuff on the TV. So I don't know, I can't guarantee any of this is true, but I thought it would be fun to ask the cards about this. Do you want to ask the cards about what's going on with this thing with Mr. T, with Mr. T?
Intuitively, when you said that they were threatened with were they threatened with the EBS going off? Okay, they were. There was some aspect of you were talking about a woman saying something or other. Something about that woman came off as no, like that's not true. Maybe did she say she did it or?
No. She was reading intel from like Q drops or something like that. I think she was reading intel from other people that are part of what's going on, I guess. She was reading a whole list. She reads a 2-page. This woman comes on and she has a kind of Southern accent. She kind of sounds like Sydney. What's her name? The attorney, Sydney Powell. She kind of sounds like her voice. At first I thought I was listening to her. But she's some other lady, and she comes on and she was going through all the different drops of information about what's going on in the world with Mr. T and behind the scenes, and what she called the actor playing Mr. B, playing the president, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And the first big arrest, we can talk about that, but they say the first big arrest is going to be Obama, the guy who supposedly was born in Hawaii and was supposedly an American, who we know isn't really an American, and and his wife isn't really a woman, and you know, that kind of stuff, that guy. So supposedly he's going to be the first arrest, so that would be fun to do cards on that and see what the cards say.
I'm getting some weird cards on this. I'm like, what the heck is this?
Yeah. So which one do we want to look at first? Do we want to say, is there going to be, what is the truth about the,
let's look at
so how do we want to ask this? Do we want to say,
tell us about the EBS?
Tell us about the EBS.
We've just heard about it.
Yeah. Tell us about what I heard about the EBS system. And it possibly going off this weekend.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. This one just came off.
Whoa. This EBS system and whether or not it's going to go off this weekend or anything. Now I'm keeping the deck turned over and I'm just picking random cards out of here.
Yeah.
Okay. And I got 5 of them.
Okay.
Ooh. Wow, this is really weird.
Okay, so I got 4 cards. So this one, what?
I know.
I'm getting Interesting.
It
strength
must
card.
be like, it may happen or maybe not.
This card is so good. It says things are being worked out to your benefit behind the scenes. Have faith this is getting resolved because it is.
Wow.
I like that one. The person, thing, or situation you're inquiring about is dead and buried, either literally or figuratively. Well, I said about Mr. B and Mr. O, who's being arrested. Supposedly they're both dead. So
Yes, that's so
it's
true.
actors playing them. It's actors playing them. The person, thing, or situation you're inquiring about is dead and buried, either literally or figuratively. You'd have to dig pretty deep to find it if it still exists, or go to a whole other realm of reality. And then the other card I got is you're safe and secure, all is well. Even if you can't see it yet, there are miracles happening. So just know all is good, in good hands, and be in a thankful mindset. But the last card doesn't make sense. You want to
What's it say?
This involves procreation, creating new life, reproduction, the reproductive system, or prevention of its ability to function at full capacity. That's interesting because they claim that this thing does that.
You're right. It does that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it has to do, it's tied into the V. It's tied into that situation. Yeah. Yeah. And let's see if, okay. I feel like somebody in the audience going, I know exactly what this is. Okay. I got some very interesting cards. Okay. Nothing will come of what you're fearing. You have nothing to worry about. Let it go so you can let it go so you don't put your attention on things you don't want. You are safe. Stay present and out of your head, which is the real enemy. Someone is lying, playing both sides, trying to people please for their own benefit with no regard to you. So don't trust the person or situation. They lie too well. Well, we know that. There will be unexpected, shocking news to be revealed soon. It is to awaken the population and make them aware of important issues that need our attention. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
But then there's also, this is being prevented and or stopped for your protection. It will not be successful. I think that's talking about like the other part, that someone is lying and playing both sides.
Right.
And it says, use your brain, not your brawn. You can outwit your opponent. They're playing on your blind spot. So I feel like what we're seeing is like the struggle between the two. So somebody is lying, but it's going to be prevented. There will be unexpected, shocking news, and nothing will come of what you're fearing. So I think we're just being reassured. Now the reproductive system, that's interesting. So, maybe they're going to ramp up the V to avoid talking about the E, something like that. But then okay. Or maybe they're going to be able to.
Well, they just launched doing it on pregnant women. They're using it on pregnant women now.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
You know how many babies they're going to murder? Millions and millions and millions. And I got in trouble for this because I posted it on Crackbook.
Look what I got with that, though. When you said that there's nothing to fear, it's only an illusion to assist in the awakening of humanity. So people will find it ridiculous enough to question what's going on and desire a change.
Wow. I got a warning from Facebook. I got fact checked and they got mad at me because I posted the thing about pregnant women, and whatever with the vaccine I hope that doesn't get shut down. I just said that word.
You just let it slip once.
Yeah, I hope that they don't check the video. I'm not going to monetize this video or anything like that.
I won't. Yeah, I won't either. I guess I won't either. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Okay.
Yeah, but it's like, oh my gosh, I said the word. It's like you have to be so careful. You say one word and then they come after you. Yeah, it's terrible.
It's ridiculous.
So
let's ask about that. Wait, let's just take the opportunity to ask about that. Tell us about the censorship that's going on right now. It's so ridiculous. Tell us about the censorship
going around
Tell us about
right
the
now.
censorship, please.
Tell us about the censorship. Tell us about the censorship.
Oh, wow. Interesting. It looks like,
oh my God.
It looks like people, ETs from out of this world are going to intervene and assist with the situation.
The cards I got is use your brain, not your brawn. You can outwit your opponent. They're playing on your blind spot weakness. So what are your strengths? It's time to get clever. Do not fear. You can be confident. This is so funny. This actually goes back to what we were talking about before. There is a clone, double, or dummy involved in this.
Yeah.
What you see isn't the person or place that's being conveyed. Look at the details and you'll see the discrepancies and proof you need.
I got weather manipulation in that reproductive system win again. So maybe they're going to gear everybody away from, or they're going to, they're shutting everybody up and silencing everybody so they can focus on fake weather information.
Well, supposedly a big tsunami is going to hit New York and wipe it all out and put the Statue of Liberty under like 500 feet of water and all that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You know what? It just says everything is happening just as it's supposed to. Trust that it's all working out and hold the space for the chaos. This will end well. Wow. Yeah. A lot of things happening at once. Wow. A lot, like tons of things happening.
Oh, wow. Look at all those swords. Wow.
And something, it's like something is going to happen that's like going to give back to us in a good way. And I just got a yes on that.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Wow.
Okay. Hopefully that's the flip. Is that the flip we're talking about? Yeah. Things getting healed. Yep. A new beginning. Thank you, oh Lord.
Yeah. We need a new beginning.
Okay. So what's the other thing you wanted to look at? This is interesting.
Oh,
it's going to be interesting to see the comments and what people come up with from this.
Right. I know. Okay.
Oh, wow. You're right to feel optimistic about the situation. It's all lining up just as anticipated. The EBS is going to come out.
Okay. So this is a question I have. So on our local news here, all they keep doing is showing hospitals filling full of people, which they are, because you can actually drive by the parking lots and see that they are. But they're claiming that every one of the people that are in the ICU and that are dying are all they haven't received this thing. And I don't believe that. I think, so I talked to a nurse friend. My nurse friend said it's 50-50. She said 50% of them got this and the other 50% didn't.
Interesting.
That's what she said. And, she spoke to somebody working with those people in that hospital and that's what they said. It's 50-50. So,
are you going to share what we talked about?
Yeah, we have to talk. Yeah, we have to talk about it. Yeah. So do we want to ask, the cards something about, is it true? Is it, what's going on with the people who haven't got this? Are they really filling up hospitals or not? Or what's up with that? Like, I don't know how you ask the cards.
It says this involves difficult times that were purposely intended by nefarious people for control or power. This was no accident and involved ill intentions.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
well, we know that.
So they're doing this. They're saying that for control. The bad people are saying it for control.
The situation involves a mental prison.
That's true.
Not these three.
Oh, look at this. This involved keeping something going exponentially.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay, you're going to love this one. This will happen, conclude, or resolve within the next few months.
Oh, yay. You're right to feel optimistic.
And then someone is lying and playing both sides, trying to people please, blah, 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 doing it for their own benefit and no disregard to you. Do not trust the person or situation. They lie too well.
Yeah, sometimes it's not the whole entire card. It's a part of it. So
this is my favorite one that I just got. All this drama will soon be over and you will be relieved.
Yay. Well, and I got that this situation involves a misunderstanding. Mm-hmm. So the person involved is innocent. So the unvied people, maybe it's a misunderstanding. It's not true. Oh, don't believe this for a minute. It's completely fake or false. Just have a good laugh at it. It's wow, because if you think about it, the people who haven't had that are boosting their immune system, detoxing. They're getting, they're building antibodies. they're strong and healthy. They're the ones, I don't believe they're the ones getting it. All this drama will soon be over and you will be relieved. Yay.
Okay. Here's a good one. So somebody posted something and it went viral all over social media. Oh, that's the one that I got yelled at. So I got yelled at by Crackbook for posting this post that why is it that the news doesn't show anybody dying at home from nobody's dying at home. They all die in the hospital. Well, I say it's because they give them all that REM dust stuff. I'm not going to say the whole word because I don't want to get it, they give them this drug and they give it to everyone. And that drug shuts down your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, everything. It systematically shuts down every organ in your body. So if you guys watching, if you know anyone who gets put in the hospital, do not let them give your family member that REMD. What is it? ESIVIR or something. I don't know how to spell it. Don't let them give it to your family because it's killing people like no tomorrow. It's insane. Yeah, it's horrific. And then they intubate people and ventilate them, and that also kills them as well. Because
exactly. And the GO.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about the GO?
Yeah. I'm going to talk about the GO with you all. So I just watched, and I'm going to share this with you guys. I'm going to get it off my phone because I cannot put this link in my comments or in the description because I will totally have my channel like taken down. So instead I'm sharing info and pictures. You guys are going to have to get a pen and paper and write this information down and think for yourself, because I'm not going to get my channel taken down just because you guys want to have it easy and have a link you can click on. So the website's called La Quinta Columna, La Fuerza del Despertar, which basically is the fifth column, a free thought movement and reflection website out of Spain. This guy is out of Spain, and they did all kinds of scientific research. And there's a video out there talking about it, about the cardiac activity of a living being remotely using GRAFAPHEEN. I'm not really spelling it properly. Here, I'm going to put this up. But anyways, it's GO, so it's graph something in something ox something eyed. Okay.
Perfect.
And what they do is they put it in. So here's the scary thing. They have all kinds of studies about this. They said it's a nanotechnology that they are using it for supposedly diagnosis of the what they call the non-existent, plague, but they're putting it into all of every brand. I'm not going to say the brands on here because I'll get shut down. I'll just kind of put that up, but you guys need to go to this website, and the website is laquintacolumna.net, NET, and it's spelled LAQUINTACOLUM like Mary, N like Nancy, A, laquintacolumna.net. And they've done all kinds of scientific study, and they put this GO stuff into all the intranasal, like FLU, things preventative, the thing they give you every year for the FLU. They put it in there. They put it in this thing for the FLU that they've been giving you. And what they were saying is, and they also put it in, they're saying, into local anesthesia. Like they put it into like lidocaine and that kind of stuff that they do this with, so that they can do surgeries, like small surgeries on you, or in your mouth, maybe at the dentist even. They're putting it in there. And then what happens is those things go into your body. They're magnetized. They can stick spoons and magnets all over you, and it'll stick. And what it does is, if you get the plague that's going around, if you get that plague and you have those particles in your body that are magnetic, they turn on the 5G, it activates them, it pulls them all into your heart, and it causes you massive heart failure, or it fills your lungs up with blood clots. So when you have the GO in your blood, it causes all your blood to coagulate. I also watched a scientific video that they showed proof. They took a guy, they took his arm, they poked all these holes, they took a cup, and they cupped all the holes, and it pulled all the blood out through the little pinholes in the guy's arm, and all the blood completely congealed. So, and that was a guy who had the GO in his body. So
Wow.
basically what it does is they've been putting it into people since before the whole plague came out. They put it into all of those things and all the nose things for the yearly thing that goes around every year. They put the GO in there. They turned on the 5G at the beginning of this whole thing, and that activated. So yes, this thing that's going around, the illness, let's just say it's a real thing, okay? Because I lost family members to it. I have very good friends who've lost family members. One of my good friends, her husband just passed from it. And yes, it's true. But without the GO, it's pretty much just nothing. It's a nothing, okay? So it's a real simple thing that you get over normally without the GO. What causes you to go to the hospital and die or just keel over dead is the GO that you got from getting one of these the previous year. If you got any of those, or you got anything injected into you anywhere, it could have had it in it, and that turns it into a death sentence. Okay, it makes it into a death sentence. The other thing that makes it into a death sentence is glutathione. I was explaining this to you earlier, remember? So what they have shown is if you have high levels of glutathione like children do, the reason why children were never getting the original thing that went around, and if they do, it was really mild, is because children have really high levels of a substance called glutathione that your body makes inside your body. When you turn 40, glutathione starts to disappear out of your body more and more and more and more. And elderly people have like little to no glutathione. Well, glutathione is important for all your DNA, for your cells, for your molecules, for your telomeres, your mitochondria, everything in your body. And it prevents you from getting illnesses like cancers and different kinds of disease. It prevents you from getting diseases. And if you get diseases, it helps your body heal quickly. So glutathione is one of the most important things that every human body needs to have in it. And it starts depleting like crazy after age 40, which is part of why we age rapidly and we get sick and die, is because we're losing a lot of that glutathione. So what they have shown is that the cure for that plague that's going around is, guess what? Glutathione. So if you are over 40 and you're taking a supplement that boosts your glutathione, like SOD or NAC or any of those kind of, there's all kinds of supplements, look it up. How do I increase my glutathione? I'm not going to sit here and teach you guys all this health stuff now. It's not my job. Look it up. You have a brain, go online and research. How do I increase my glutathione? The number one thing is N-acetylcysteine. Okay. They have done studies on that with the plague, and they found out that it knocks it out in 3 days flat. Why does it knock it out in 3 days flat? Because the cure to that thing is glutathione levels, raising your glutathione, because the glutathione destroys and disrupts that spike thing. Okay. And all of the stuff. So it is a real thing. There's a bunch of people saying, oh, it's not real, it's a phony illness. I got news for you. I have friends who are off-gridders who have never gotten one of these in their life. They eat holistic, vegan, whatever, every single day. They're really healthy. They don't go to the dentist. They don't get any of these things or these things in their nose. And they still came down with that. And they haven't had their smell or their taste for a month or more now. Okay. So it is a real illness. It is real. What causes it to kill you is lack of glutathione. And if you have had the GO put into your body at any time, those two things is what turns that into a deadly thing. Yeah. Okay.
And then the ventilators, and then
the
R word medicine.
Yeah, they give them that, and that's what. So the minute you go into the hospital, so you need to not do that. But I can't tell people don't do that, because I don't want to get people coming after me. I mean, you need to go, but all I can say is if you do go, your family needs to stand strong and tell them, do not give my loved one that R thing with the R. Do not give it to them. They need to stand strong, seriously, because that stuff is
and why
terrible.
do you think they won't let the family members go in there?
Because they don't want you to stop them from killing your family member. Yeah. I mean, it's obvious. It's all obvious. it's the whole thing is, it's pretty awful.
It's going to be fantastic when all this comes out and we start seeing people arrested for all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctors that gave into it because they were paid off. And
well, especially the ones who knew, a lot of them know the truth. Like that's the thing that's
know.
sick. Like all the doctors and all of the heads of like the head of our local hospital came on our local news and lied to the public that everybody who's in the hospital is all not had this thing, that everybody that's in there hasn't had it. And that's a lie, because I checked with a nurse working in that same hospital who said it's 50-50. It's 50-50 is what she said. So some of the people have had this thing and some of the people haven't, and it's 50-50. That's what she said. And he lied on the news and said, nope, they're all not this, because our news here locally on a local level, every newscast throughout the entire newscast is trying to push you into getting this. You got to get that.
I don't believe
the whole newscast.
Yeah, I don't believe anything on the television set.
Oh, I don't either.
It's just,
and I don't purposely sit
right
and watch it. It's just that it's going 24/7 in my house because my husband has to have it on night, because he doesn't listen to me. Okay. Which I pray that he has his wakey really soon. But the fact of the matter is he has to watch that news all the time, and the news is loaded with all that baloney. So,
and subconscious programming too, on top of it, subliminal.
So I want to share this with everybody listening too. So they have been playing subliminal messaging, not only through the news, but through all the TV commercials and all the times that Mr. B gets up to speak. Every time he gets up to speak, they're blasting the airwaves with this low frequency. I think it's 60 hertz, they said, or something, and it gets into your subconscious. And then they have the mantra, V's are good and safe. I need to go get the V. They have these mantras playing over and over to get you to go get that mind control. If you don't get the V, you will die, just mantra over and over and over again. And then it's playing it at low. So people who are, I don't want to say feeble-minded, but just people who aren't as hardcore strong-willed as I am. Like I'm somebody, I don't know about you, but I'm somebody who can't be hypnotized no matter what. They could try from now till doomsday. They can try to use M something ULTRA on me. They could try that on me. It ain't going to work, because I'm the most stubborn, hard-headed individual that I know.
It's working out in your favor, girl.
Yeah. So they can't get in. They can't get in that. And because I'm a master of, I've been meditating 25 years, and I am a master of my own mind control. You know what I mean? I can control my mind to block whatever I want to block, or to receive whatever I want to receive. I'm really good at controlling my own brain, like a little control center. So
that's so funny, because look what card I pulled while you were talking too. Look for hidden meanings in signs, symbols, and imagery. This will tell you all you need to know. So yeah.
So all I can tell you guys is get your glutathione levels up, get it up. Go take NAC, go take SOD, which comes from melons from France, I believe. You can do artichoke, you can do asparagus. Asparagus raises your, eating a whole bunch of asparagus, that will raise your glutathione. A thing called NAD raises your glutathione, but go and do the research yourself on ways I can raise my glutathione levels, and start doing it now. Because if you have high glutathione levels, your chance of getting the plague goes down. And then if you do get the plague, you won't wind up in the hospital. Hopefully, you won't wind up there. So we don't want you to. Yeah. So
get whatever you can to boost your immune system.
And it makes me sick that there's so many different supplements and natural things you can take. Like I got done reading from the National Institute of Health's website. There's all kinds of Ayurvedic cures for this, which are, herbs and plant medicines from India, like that they use to treat this thing that knocks it right out. There's, there's pine needle tea.
I've got red pine oil.
Yeah. There's star anise. There's fennel. There's a whole list of things, fennel seeds, list of things you can take.
And were you talking about the DNA getting messed with and what that does? Were you the one who was talking to me about that? Somebody said something about how it makes you non-human and therefore you're controllable. If it messes, if something
No,
messes
I
with
didn't
your
tell you
DNA.
that. However, somebody just told me, was talking to me about this yesterday, but I never talked to you about it. But somebody just talked to me about this yesterday. In fact, a bunch of people texted me about that,
Yeah.
about that you're basically not considered a human anymore and you lose your human rights. Or did I tell you?
Yeah.
Maybe I did tell you. I don't know.
I
But
don't know.
but you and I could have gotten the same messages from
Information,
people,
totally.
like, because they're sending the same videos around. So basically, the Supreme Court voted back in 2013, it's on their website, supremecourt.gov, that something to do with once your DNA has been changed around with injectable whatever, that you're no longer considered a human, you're called transhuman, and you've lost all your human rights. So yeah, that was going around too. So basically, anybody who's had the M something something A put into them, which messes with your D, you know, an A. Yeah. That stuff, anytime you start changing and turning people into GMO, you're turning people into GMO, genetically modifying them. They're now transhuman, so they lose all their human rights because they're not fully human.
Do you know what else takes away our human rights? Our birth certificates.
Yeah, I know. Because they sold us off to the Queen and the Vatican.
Our car insurance.
Yeah.
Our bank institutions.
Yeah.
Everything is geared. Everything is geared. They just said it's going to turn around though.
So let's do a question about the QFS, because they claim that's already been going through and that they've already been working on it, and that all the banks have been switching over to QFS behind the scenes and that we just don't know about it. So let's ask the cards about that. Tell us what's going on with the QFS.
Because won't it be nice not to be able to get scammed anymore or anything like that?
Yeah.
I mean, from what I understand, that there's a beneficial and benevolent artificial intelligence involved.
Yeah, it is.
I just got a yes on that too.
This card fill out. What? This involves out-of-body teleporting or supernatural experiences or intervention involving beings from out of this world who are assisting us in the situation.
Wow, totally.
That is so true. So the QFS is actually, so all you guys need to understand is the future banking system is not run by us. It's actually run by our buddies up there, and they are using their own satellites to do it, because that way all of the evil people on this earth cannot manipulate it and use it for their own means. So it's being handled by let's call them the intergalactic police. Basically, the intergalactic police are dealing with this. So the satellites and everything that's controlling the QFS system has been created in a way that it's untamperable. It's going to be linked directly to your what's that called? Your thing on what's your computer? What is that called that identifies your computer? What do they call that? The thing that identifies
URL.
Huh?
URL?
No, the thing that identifies the number.
URL, what am I thinking?
Your what is it? Your IPN
address.
Your IP address. Yeah. So your banking's going to be linked to your own computer, so it can't be infiltrated. So if it comes from somebody else's, it has to come from your actual IP address. If it comes from someone else's IP address, it's been infiltrated. So they're going to link it all to your computer. You get signed on to your bank account through your own IP, through your own computer. And that's how you get access to that system. And the satellites are supposedly all protected, and they're all run by the good guys from outer space. They're, I don't know. That's supposedly what's going on. So,
this is something, I talk to clients in all kinds of precarious situations. Sometimes somebody told me yesterday that the good guys are in charge of satellites and the bad guys are always very interested in your location. I thought that was really interesting. Really,
they want to know where you are. They want to know where you are at all time. They track you through these cell phones.
Yeah, and I've been getting this notification constantly on my phone.
Really?
You do not have your location services.
Mine comes up all the time too. I don't have mine turned on. Yeah, I don't.
And it's like it comes up so fast, you can accidentally click on it and be like, shit, and then it's permanent. You can't get rid of it once you do. So it's like
they don't know my location. They don't know it. I won't let Google, because it's Google. It's all through Google. They're not allowed to have my location. I won't tell them where I am.
Yeah. So here and then you get a VPN too. So I've got 4 cards. This is the confirmation of what I just said. What we both just said. There is beneficial artificial intelligence involved with this. It's not going to harm anyone and could even heal or protect you. You can trust this and feel safe. Nefarious people were hard at work behind the scenes trying to take down humanity, but we are now under the control of good intended people with our best interests at heart. It's time for rebuilding. This involved or will involve exuberance, excitement, delight, and or relief. This caused or will cause great satisfaction and extreme joy. And everything is happening.
Bring it on, man.
Everything is happening just as it's supposed to. Trust it's all working out and hold the space for the chaos. This will all end well. So let me feel into when it might be actually like known that we're all doing it.
Mm-hmm.
September, October, November, December, October, November. What's really, wow, that was interesting. Usually I would see like a timing thing would look like this, like it just goes like straight, and it just went November, December, like it was going up. So maybe it's fat, maybe it spreads really fast through November and December. I just got a yes on that. Like, you know how when you're going so fast, you tip up on two wheels. I don't know what that was about. That's interesting though. But like November, December, it's going to sweep over us like a wave, like.
Yeah.
Like, wow, did you get this happen to your computer or your bank system, or did you, like it just spreads?
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be completed by the end of December.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. But I'm not always the best with timing because we've got two teams involved, the good guys against the bad guys. And one pushes, the other one pushes, the other one pushes, and it keeps pushing the dates further up. The dates keep, because most of this was supposed to happen a year ago. We're like off by like a whole year right now.
Yeah. Totally.
So I tell people when I make predictions, because my clients are constantly pushing me to make predictions for them of when will this happen, when will that happen? And I say, I can't guarantee, because first of all, every human being on their own is co-creating with God and manifesting their life and their future. And with every thought you think and everything that comes out of your mouth, your future changes like literally every second onto different timelines. You're creating different timelines. But then all of us are collective consciousness. So we're also co-creating all of this. And then you have bad guys behind the scene manipulating all the timelines. And those guys have time travel devices, and they can go into the past and future and screw it.
All that.
But so do the good guys. And then the good guys follow them. It's like time police. And then they follow them in, and then they have to fix whatever they messed up, and it goes over. And it's just a constant loop.
I mean, I found that I'm very highly accurate, but it's the things that I predict or the things that I say are going to happen that happen, but it's a matter of when that varies. So yeah, it's very true. It's all very malleable. And I even feel like, especially in true love situations, if they're leaning into it, waiting and expecting it, it totally puts it off. So I'll be like, I'm not telling you a date, because if you anticipate it, it's going to put it off. But if you forget about it and you just walk away and just know that it's happening and don't even worry about it, don't even think about it, try to put it out your mind as much as you can, it expedites it.
Wow.
It's like when you make an order with Amazon or wherever, just you made the order, you know what's coming, and you just leave it alone.
Yep.
You don't sit there and check it all the time.
No. Yeah. You just exactly. So I'm like looking at my face on the camera, and my face looks like it's glowing or something. And it's hilarious because what it is the sun is shining in through this window here at me. So it makes me look like I'm glowing or something. It's like, I'm not glowing. It's just the sun shining on me. I wish I could say I was realistically glowing, but it's just
you're that crystalline, my dear.
Yeah. That it's just the sun, the way the sun is shining on my cheeks and my nose.
Quartz here.
Yeah.
I don't.
That's okay. I've got this, I'm having my lap to ground me. This is a big hematite to keep me grounded. Yeah, I'm kind of sitting on it just to keep me grounded so I don't float off into the ethers or whatever when I'm doing. Because when I do my work, I can tend to like jet propulse and out of here, I can tend to, consciousness can like leave. And so I'm keeping myself stuck.
Good.
So,
although that would be entertaining if we could see it, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, if you could see it, it would be hilarious. Except my real self is 9.5 feet tall, so that would be interesting. But anyways,
that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, whole other thing. I'm not going to even go there. But anyways, yeah. Part of why, by the way, for those of you guys who not everybody, but some people who are suffering from all sorts of weird health issues that have tried everything known to man to heal themselves and it doesn't happen. For some of us, it's because you have really high density beings that are being stuck into a third density body. The third density body has a hard time holding these really high density
that makes sense.
beings. So like if you came from somewhere like Arcturus or Lyra or, you know, even Pleiadian people, you know, it can be hard because those are people that are 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, like Arcturians are like up to 9th density. You take a 9th density Arcturian and shove them into a 3rd density body, it's going to cause problems because the vessel has a hard time holding all that energy. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah, so that's something. Okay, question. What other question we want to talk? Oh, let's see. Why are this I got it. I have to say this. I just have to say it. This is a question we're going to ask the cards. Why are people not dying at home? Like on the news, they never ever say anybody dies at home. It's always in the hospital. Why is it they're not dying at home? They know I've never seen anyone on the news where they said so and so died from you know what in their house. It's always in the hospital. Always in the hospital. I'm sure there are some people who have died at home, but
on that note, like funeral directors say that, you know, that all of this is that there's so much lying going on.
Yeah, well, they say that funeral. So this is the other thing. There's a new video going around that funeral director whose video went viral, that he was basically like a paid shill, that he's an actor and that he's not, that everything he's saying is not real or true and that he's full of beans. So that's going around now too. Yeah. And
you don't know. That's why you have to stay really objective is so that you can really call your funeral director in your area and ask.
But I will specify something that's even way better than the funeral director. So a guy who I've never liked him because of his huge ego, Tony Robbins. His ego is always as big as he is. He's like a giant man and his ego is giant. But Tony Robbins, who's a big, you know, life coach guy, really famous, world renowned. He came on a video a long time ago where he was actually looking like he must have healed his ego because he was all scruffy and wearing a baseball cap and looking really like a normal person instead of like a multi-billionaire guru guy who goes around the world. You know, I'm like, maybe he's done some spiritual healing. But anyways, he came on and he shared numbers and he had the statistics printed out from the CDC. Okay. He had that printed out. And I shouldn't have said that word. I should have said 3-letter organization because that might have flagged my video. Hopefully not. Yeah. Anyways, we have to be careful everything that we say on this channel because I want my channel to stay. So
maybe I'll on mine. I might be able to edit it out and beep.
I don't know how to do editing, so that's going to be a problem for me.
I think you'll be all right. She can be all right. Yeah, you'll be all right.
Yeah. Okay. So he held up a piece of paper and what it showed, and this was months ago, and what it showed was he was sitting there and going, how come the number of people who have died from the you know what has gone up by the same number of people who it went down for heart disease, heart attacks, cancer. So let's say there was 200,000 people who died last year in 2 years ago of cancer or heart attack. That number went down to 0, but then the number of cases went up by the same exact number. Okay. Whoa. So basically what he's saying is that and we all know this, that the coroners and all of the doctors and all the hospitals were calling every single person that died a death.
Yes.
Because they were getting paid a bunch of money for that. Number one. Exactly. Number two, they were told to lie by the minions who work for the demonic, for the demonic people. Basically the demonic people pulling the strings, told all these people, this is what you're going to tell the press, and then the press is all under the control of the demonics as well, because big pharma, who do you think pays for all of the news reports you watch on TV? Every commercial is a big pharma commercial, just about. That's who pays their bills. So they're run by big pharma. So the number of people, so according to them, everybody, because that coroner, this confirms what he said, because he said there was no more new cases or no more deaths before the, you know what came out, before that came out, there were no more deaths than there had been any previous year ever. Okay. But then once this came out, you said the deaths went through the roof by like 500%, because people were all getting that and then they're dying immediately, because in the UK. And then I watched another video that really blew my head off. I was like, oh my God, this woman has an Alexa, or what is that called? Alexa, you know, the thing that you can talk to, the Amazon thing. She had it and she asked it, what is the population of the UK? And then it said 600 or 60 million people or something like that. And she said, what is the population of the UK going to be in 2024? 20,000 people, like 26,000. Yeah. That's what it answered. The population of the UK will be only 25,000 or 25 million. It went from 60 million down to 25 million. So basically 2/3 of the Brits getting killed off by this thing is basically what it's saying. Yeah. That makes me just horrified, like to even think, because I have this huge love for Great Britain because I lived there in multiple past lifetimes, number one. And number two, because I've been there in this lifetime and I have a very kindred feeling, and I have a lot of friends there and a lot of clients there. And I have family that came from there over on the boat to America, you know, I had family who was from there, you know? And so I have this like, this really, I feel very fond of the UK in general, Ireland, Scotland, England, all those countries. I feel very fond of that. And to hear that they're going to go from a population in Great Britain, she said in Great Britain, I think she said of 60 million down to 26 million or 23 million. I don't know, something like that. I don't remember exact numbers of what she said. That's horrific. And the fact that Alexa would know that, that's even scarier, because that means that it's all part of the NWO whole, you know, shrinking the planet population down thing. Yeah. So I keep thinking, not on my timeline, not on my timeline, not on my timeline.
Yeah.
I don't want any of this to happen. I don't want anyone to die. Like the whole thing about people dying makes me sick, because I love every human on this earth. The only ones who I don't give a rat's patootie about are the evil, dark, satanic ones. They can all leave here like yesterday. They need to get off my planet. But all the people who are normal human beings, who are decent human beings, I don't want anything bad to happen to any of those people. Nothing. Like, you know, it's not people's fault that they were mind controlled by that 60 hertz frequency going across the radio waves, the TV all day long. You know, how is that free will? Our free will has been stolen when they're doing that. That's stealing people's free will. Because if you're mind controlling their mind, then you've basically taken their free will from them. So you're basically snuffing out somebody's life against their free will and against their, you know,
Wow.
That whole thing bothers me. Really bothers me. It's not okay.
Yeah. No. No.
Yeah. And then I sit here and I go, okay, well, there's supposedly this GFW up there that's supposedly helping us. And why are they allowing this to just keep going on and on and on like this? I just don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah.
So what are you getting on that?
So tell us about, well, how do I want to ask the cards about this? Let's ask the cards, is the information true in that video that the population of the UK is going to shrink by basically 2/3 by 2024? Is that true? Or 2025?
Holy cow. I've already got the answer to that.
You did? Okay.
So mine says this is being prevented and or stopped for your protection. It will not be successful. Know that spirit has got your back. This was or is being intercepted, and don't believe it for a minute. It's completely false or fake.
I got the legal system's going to bring resolution to this matter. Be patient as the law works its magic. This will work out to your favor. So hang tight and stay positive.
Oh my gosh, this is creepy. Watch this. Oh, because you said Alexis, right? Or Alexa, whatever.
Alexa.
Yeah. There is dangerous, nefarious artificial intelligence involved in this. It does not have your best interests at heart. Try to disable, dismantle, or avoid it. Alexa itself.
I
could
don't
be
have it in
that.
my house. I won't allow AI in my house at all.
Holy
I
crap.
won't allow any of that crap in my house. And any one of you who have an Alexa in your house, it listens to everything you say, listens to you having sex. They even had a whole video they did about how the employees at Amazon were listening to and recording people's sexual stuff through Alexa. I mean, just crazy. Yeah. It hears everything going on in your house. Every little ooh and ah, every breath you take, every, you know that song by Sting, every breath you take, I'll be watching you. That's Alexa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some scary stuff, man. But I just got the card that said that the legal system was going to take care of that shit. So
Awesome. Thank you.
yeah, I know. Thank you for every little thing, God. We love you. Oh my God. Oh, it's terrible. Okay, what other questions? What other questions do we have? Anything else that you want to ask?
what about the murder?
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. Well, that I don't really want to talk about that because I already know all about that. I know about it through friends of mine and then my own psychic detective work. I mean, basically the two of them had a really weird ass codependent relationship. Number one, and they were he was unbalanced. And I almost think he was demonically possessed or being controlled and manipulated by archons or demons. I think she was kind of let me ask if this is true because I haven't asked yet, but I've seen what other people have said and I'm kind of in agreement. What's her name? Gabrielle or Gabby? It's like Gabby something. What's a Gabby girl? Yeah, I kind of feel like she was like a light worker. She was like a really high. If you look at her picture, she's almost angelic looking, like her eyes. Like I see a lot through people's eyes. I think she was a very high vibrational person, but I think she was she had like low self-esteem. So she attracted to this guy who was super abusive. He was very abusive. And she probably had low self-esteem. That's why women attract to abusers, is either they were abused when they were younger by a parent or something. And so they have that codependency relationship thing going on, or they have just extremely low self-esteem and lack of boundaries, not able to lay the boundaries, down. And so they had that going on. But I also think he was being used to take her out because she was a bright light on the planet. She was a very beautiful soul. And
that one of the cards I got. Okay.
Yeah, she was a beautiful soul. And I think that he was manipulated by demonic entities for that whole thing to occur. Like her whole death, I think, was being manipulated by the dark side.
Yeah. What I was feeling when I first heard about it, I haven't heard a lot, but I felt like it was another case of the mind control thing that they do to people, or that it was somebody else involved, that somebody else like popped out of nowhere and did it. And then I got this card that just confirmed that this situation involved a hidden influencer that you don't know about.
Well, I think it's the demons. I think it's demons. I don't think there was like an actual person. I think the two of them were shoving, but it could be.
Well, I just got a button in my head, like somebody pressed a button or something.
So someone behind the scenes that like triggered him to do it, kind of like how they ultra people to go into grocery stores and massacre people. They go into schools and massacre people because they push a button or they call them, and then that person, it triggers a switch in their head, and then they go and they kill.
It just happened here.
It's like a kill switch.
It just happened here where I live. Yeah. So this involved cancel culture or going against nefarious or evil agendas or brainwashing. This is or was a threat to those with ill intent, so was dealt with. Yeah.
They can't find him, and I think that there's a really good chance that he's not even on the earth plane. Like he committed suicide, maybe.
I have a card that it kind of explains that too. It confirms that someone has a guilty conscience and needs to make right by someone, so they know that they are in the wrong somehow. And then there's also like a stalking card, stalking, spying, gossip.
I think he was doing. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah. This will conclude or resolve within a few weeks. Oh, wait a minute. Secrets are soon to be revealed, bringing clarity to the situation.
I got someone's being framed or blamed for something they didn't do. Look deeper into the situation to find the truth because they're innocent.
It was somebody, I think it was somebody else.
But he might have done it, but under mind control. So if he wouldn't have been mind controlled, he wouldn't have done that, in other words.
Well, I'm getting chills on this one too. This involved a rocky start. There was resistance. Someone may have been or is being coerced, manipulated, or forced to do it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's mind control. It was mind control.
So. Yeah, I think so.
I think he was mind controlled.
Mm-hmm. I do too. Yeah,
I really feel that was a mind control thing. Those 2 women that were killed in Moab, I think that was demonic. The three people were involved in that murder of them, and I think that the 3 people were doing some kind of Luciferian satanic crazy shit. That's what I think.
And this is the thing is that the unfortunate thing is this has been going on for a very, 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 very long time. We're just becoming more aware of it now.
This stuff goes on all the time. So I posted something that just blew my head. I'm going to talk about this now, and we can look at this on the cards. So they just posted on the national freaking news. Okay. Your mainstream media, which we don't trust. They posted this on the mainstream media. So this is some truth. So little truths are coming out here and there that in the year 2020, 500,000 people went missing in the United States of America. Yeah. 40% of them were African-American. A whole bunch of them were Native American women and children. And they're finding out that a lot of these Native American children are being abused, raped, and killed in these schools that are for Native children. Yeah.
Well, apparently the darker your skin, the better the blood for their.
Yeah, it has to do with the blood. Well, they seek out Native Americans. They also, that's why the HRC and her husband, their foundation, he was the Mr. C president, that president, and his wife and their foundation were I'm going to say supposedly, because I don't want to get in trouble here. I don't know, involved in trafficking 200,000 kids out of Haiti. That they trafficked, those were all dark skinned kids, right? There's something to do with the blood, definitely, of Native Americans, Native Pacific Islander people. They target Hawaiians a lot. They target the Aborigines in Australia. They target the rainforest, the Native tribe, they target all of the Indigenous people. That's their number one target, is killing off Indigenous people like no tomorrow. They killed millions and millions of them in the United States way back when. I mean, over time, they've been killing them. When they came here to America, they even, either through smallpox or through just murdering them, killed millions of them. They've been decimating the Native populations forever because the Native, and I've said this before on video after video, the Indigenous people are the closest to the creator and to the earth. They have like this tie both to the creator and to Mama Gaia that is unlike any other being on this planet. They're very unique. Their DNA is unique. They are unique people, and they have a more, I'm getting chills right now because I have I'm not going to talk about my tie, but I have a very tight bond with Native Americans in the United States. Like I'm not going to go into why and how of that because I can't share that information, but I've spent a lot of time with Native American elders on the reservation, like at the tribal center. I've spent time with them and then other things. And I also was trained by a Navajo shaman. I was trained in Navajo shamanism a while back, but I have a very tight bond with those people. And so every time I hear horrible things happening to Native Canadians, like the First Nations or Native Americans, I get like heart sick. Like it hits me. It's like gut punch over and over because I have that much of a connection. I have this really strong connection with them, really strong connection. So, so the women have been going, there's what's called the Trail of Tears, which is in British Columbia, Canada. Thousands of Native American women vanished or murdered. And you sit there and you go, what the F? Seriously, that's just sick. It's sick. But that's what these evil demons do. They go after people who are specific people. Now, if you look at why they would go after people who are African American or dark skinned, well, I can tell you. Who do you think were the first humans on the earth? And where did they come from? The first most indigenous humans and the first, like the tribes of Israel, even. Where do you think they were based out of?
Yeah, totally.
Africa. Africa is a very sacred place. The cabal has tried to decimate Africa through slavery and murder and wars and famines and starvation and diseases and all kinds of things. The cabal over the last hundreds of years or thousands of years, this has gone on for a few thousand years or more, they've tried to decimate the people of Africa, like the Maasai tribe and all the different tribes, the indigenous, those are the indigenous people. So again, we're talking indigenous people. So if you look at the indigenous people who were the first people in the African continent, all of those tribes, which go back billions of years, those people, and they have such a sacred connection to the animals and to the land and to all the creatures. And they use all the plant medicine. They use they're the ones who discovered things like frankincense and stuff like that, that it cures and heals illnesses. The cabal has done nothing for the last thousands of years but go out of their way to murder off every last indigenous person that they can, because they're sick, FUCKSs. That's what they are. They're sick.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I don't like to swear, but that's just how I feel about them.
Well, they even make them kill each other.
They make them kill each other. They turn them against each other.
Suicidal and depressed and drunk and full of drugs so that they'll die, Yeah. Any way that they can. Any way they can.
Yeah. So if you think about it, every African American in the United States, they all are basically indigenous to the planet. They're indigenous because their people, their ancestors were like the first people. They were the first ones. Do you think us white people were first? No. How do we get this way? Pleiadians, DNA. Okay. If you look at so humans are edited with 22 different types of DNA. One of those types is human. The other 21 are ET. The people who are really white, light skinned have the hugest amount of Pleiadian DNA, or they have grays, the Orion grays, a lot of that in them. So there's different places in the world where there's more concentrations of the different types of DNA, whereas the people from the continent of Africa, anyone who came from there, or anyone who came from the Polynesian Islands, or anyone who came from South America or Central America or Mexico, they're like Incan or any of those kind of the Mayans, the Incans, the Toltecs, all of them, they're indigenous. So they've been here on the planet, like they're the oldest. They go back like billions of years in anthropology. They go back to the beginning, to the first humans. They're linked to the first humans, basically, where we're not. So what does that mean? The bad guys go after all those people because they're the most connected to Mother Gaia and God, like both. They have a connection to heaven and earth. They have this really strong, deep-seated connection that the bad guys don't have and can never have. They can never get that. Like they'll never ever be able to have that, but they seek it. They want it. Like they want it, and they want it through the blood and all of that. So yeah, it's horrific. Yeah, it's absolutely horrific. And so that's why those people are all, being victimized continuously. Yeah. And even that illness that they created in a lab, it was created in a lab to take out originally the plan was to take out 95% of the population, but they epically failed at that. They actually engineered it to target specific groups of people. So if you look at the death rate based on nationality, you'll see that people like from the Pacific Islands, people who are Latin, people who are African American, they have like the highest death rates because they targeted that illness specifically to work its worst on those people. Yeah, it's really sick.
It is.
So,
and it's ending.
Yeah, thank God. Thank God. Thank God. So So that being said, all of those indigenous people, all of us white people, I'm not into, what do they call that, critical race theory. I'm totally against it. I think it's horrific and disgusting. But I think that everybody is sacred. Every human on earth is sacred and important, every human. And the fact that they have torn us all apart with all of this race stuff and racism is they've purposely done the divide and conquer. It's one of the things in the art of war, divide and conquer. They've turned us all against each other. They turned us against Jew against Christian, Jew against Muslim, Muslim against Jew, white against black, black against white. They turn everybody against each other because it's divide and conquer. Yeah. Because in the time of Atlantis, it was a unity consciousness, which is what we're going back to in fifth density. Fifth density is all about unity consciousness. It's all about all of us coming together as one human race. I don't look at my color, my skin. I'm a human. Okay. Everybody I look at is a human. I don't look at their color of their skin. Since I was a little baby, like a child, I've had friends from every nationality, every walk of life. I don't judge them by what they look like. I judge them by their heart. I judge everybody by their heart. You're either a good person or you're a bad person. Other than that, I don't care where you came from. I mean, I love people of culture because it makes life interesting. So I tend to attract more to people who are from foreign countries and other places because I find them very interesting and fascinating, and they make life exciting and adventurous. Mm-hmm. But I don't judge people based on their skin color. I judge them on the character of their person. You're either a nice person or you're not a nice person. If you're not a nice person, get the hell out of my life and out of my energy field. I don't want you near me. If you're a nice person, then welcome. You're my friend for life until you do something nasty to me, and then you're not my friend anymore. So, and because I'm the kind of person that I will be your friend until I leave the earth, as long as you're doing the same. If they're being respectful and nice, then I'm going to be the same. So I don't judge people. But what the cabal has done is they have turned everyone against each other and created a war amongst us. And why? Because that's how they take us out. That's how they destroy civilizations. That's how they destroy humans. That's how they destroy our hearts, our souls, everything about us.
Totally.
Yeah. Just like the fact that majority of Native American people nowadays don't know their own languages. The languages, the beautiful languages like the Lakota language, all of that, they're having a harder and harder time each decade that goes by of preserving those beautiful ancient languages. Wow. Having such a hard time. And the same thing, even in places like South Africa or somewhere like that, where English is the majority of the language, a lot of the native languages are disappearing. And this is happening all over the world in indigenous populations. The indigenous Hawaiian language is disappearing. The indigenous language in the Philippines and in the Samoan Islands and all the Pacific Islands, all those indigenous languages, because they have made English like the priority, and they've decimated those people so much. They took them and they manipulated them to their education, the cabal run education system, and the cabal run church system. The church system, the missionaries went to all these places and took over with their Catholic, system, which was, the cabal. They took over with that system and they molded everybody to what they wanted. So they made everybody get rid of their own indigenous language. They made them drop their indigenous language. And then over time, the indigenous languages, which are so beautiful to listen to, they're all being lost. Yeah. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because what makes this planet such a beautiful, interesting place and makes life so interesting is culture and language. Culture and language makes it a really interesting planet. When you remove all yeah,
we got to actively come together and rise above all that division and start forming cohesiveness in communities.
Yeah,
be looking out for each other.
Yeah,
creating networks, caring about each other. Bringing it together.
Yeah, that and helping each other preserve the cultures. If your family, if your ancestors are from Germany and you wear lederhosen, preserve that, whatever. If you're, from, if you are Native American, try to seek out and learn your languages, the languages that have been, try to do that. Try to teach your kids those languages. They need to get preserved, all of that stuff, all the culture needs to keep getting passed on because it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to get teary-eyed because I get like, I get really verklempt, as they say. I get really choked up when I talk about this stuff because I'm very passionate about it. I'm, a very passionate person, but there's certain subjects, and one of those is the preservation of culture and language and the importance of all that, and what these evil monsters have done to this world. Just really upsetting. Really upsetting, because I speak multiple languages. I speak 8 languages, and I love traveling the world, and I like immersing myself in the culture. Like if I go to Mexico City, I'm going to become part of that culture. I'm going to speak their language. The minute I get off the plane, I'm going to start speaking Spanish. I'm going to immerse myself. If I go to the, Hawaiian Islands, I'm going to go, attend some of the ceremonies and the luau's and get to know the people that live there, the actual indigenous Hawaiian people, spend time with them, because that's it makes me happy, to spend time with and getting immersed in the culture and learning about going back hundreds of years, how they did things and why they did things that way. And, learning about all those cultures, or even going to places like Bulgaria or somewhere and learning how to do Slavic dancing, or, whatever, learning how to do that, or how to play certain types of instruments from those countries. Like my great grandfather played the balalaika. He was Russian and he played the balalaika, getting immersed in that kind of, culture. To me, it's really important to learn about it and to not be a stupid sheeple with blinders on that only looks at everything. Like I talked to a lady the other day who grew up in a little community, a farming community that's all white people, all like totally white people. She's never seen a person with dark skin in her entire life. Never seen anybody who was Asian, never seen anybody who's Latin. All she did was grow up in a small farming community with all white people. So her view of life was really with blinders on, very, very narrow. And so now that she's out in the world and she's adult and she starts going places, now she's learning about all this, and, she's finding out and she's experiencing it. And it's hard for people like that when they're shut off from the rest of all the culture.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's important for us to preserve all the cultures, but also to share those cultures with each other. And everybody should understand the cultures and respect the cultures. And because ignorance is what causes prejudice and racism and anti-Semitism. All of that is all caused by ignorance. So if every single person would spend some time learning about world cultures, like I've spent my whole life studying world cultures, world history. I love world history, learning about all these different civilizations and races of people. And fill your brain with knowledge and educate yourself and learn about people so that you can appreciate and respect them better. That's all I have to say about that. It's really important because you get so much appreciation for different types of foods and cultures and religions and ceremonial stuff. Like I went to Italy and I got 2 times and I got to watch really cool parades that they were doing in ceremonies where they were doing flag twirling and all kinds of stuff that they had been doing in those villages in Italy and Tuscany for thousands of years.
Long time, yeah.
Like going back to Roman times, they'd been doing the same things year after year after year. They do the same thing, and it's part of their culture. And they have a specific food they'll eat for that, like to celebrate, all that kind of thing. They'll have specific pastries that they put out in the bakeries for that celebration, all that kind of thing. So it's, or even maybe an alcoholic drink, like you go to the Amalfi Coast and everybody's drinking limoncello, that's a cultural thing there. So, you drink limoncello when you're in Amalfi. It's just what you do because they grow all the lemons and that's what they make. So you go to these cultures. And if you can't physically travel there, you can armchair travel through watching TV. There's so many travel shows, and there's so many shows about all this stuff, and it gives you a respect and a knowledge and an insight into the way other people live all over the world, because they're all our brothers and sisters. They're all our brothers and sisters. You are all, Amy and I are sisters. You're all our brothers and sisters. Everybody who's watching, we're all connected. We're all one unified humanity. We're all humanity and we're all unified. So it's important for us to all respect each other and to understand each other. It's really important.
Find the commonalities instead of the differences.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And preserve and help each other to preserve. That is what those things that are so important, that go back so many hundreds and thousands of years. It's important to preserve the traditions, the traditions and the culture and all that. I mean, if you're came from a tribe in some island somewhere where the tradition is the men dance around naked and play drums and whatever once a year, whatever, it's so what? It's beautiful. It's culture. It's beautiful. It's awesome. Go immerse yourself in it, enjoy it, and learn about it.
Yeah.
So anyways, I've got to run. Ooh, I gotta run. I'm gonna get in trouble. But we're actually supposed to be going on a family event. So my family's gonna get mad at me if I don't
all right
leave. But thank you so much for joining me and talking about all this.
It's fun to hash things out and bring us together to brainstorm, and we're all trying to figure this out together, guys. We're all trying to listen to our intuitions as best we can, our instincts, and discern all the different information coming at us. So just keep coming from that heart place and listening to your intuition over anything else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the one thing that we can leave you guys all with today too is, even though everything looks really, really awful because the news is all dark and scary and the stuff going on in the world, and even the truther community is putting out so much fear and scary stuff out there, just know that behind the scenes that God has everything worked out. The light has won. And a lot of this is just a play. It's like a theater production to just bring all the darkness up to the surface to get it revealed to the light. So
yeah, the last couple cards, there's a mix of truth and lies intended to confuse you. So listen to your intuition and use divine divination tools like this to help you to see clearly. Secrets are going to be revealed soon, and that will bring a lot of clarity.
Yeah, it's all being revealed. It's all being brought up to the light.
Rest assured.
Yeah, you can't put your head in the sand. So there's a bunch of these love and light spiritual people out there. Oh, you can't talk about that. You can't look at that. You need to just be love and light. No. And it's like, do you guys all want to go through another 25,000 years of enslavement? Because I personally don't. I want this earth to be freed. The only way we can free our planet from the tyranny that's been here is you have to reveal all the darkness. We have to look at the darkness. We have to confront the darkness. We have to kick the darkness off our planet. And the only way you can do that is by going full force into it and paying attention to it. If you sit there and ignore it and put your head in the sand, not only will it not go away, but it'll get worse and worse and worse until they do kill all the population on the planet, because their goal was to kill all of us. Okay, that was their goal. It was 95% death rate is what they were hoping for. And they're not going to get that. They're not going to get that. In fact, I was told by my boss, Yeshua, that it's going to be the opposite. They wanted 5% alive, 95 dead. Instead, it's going to be 5% dead because of this, unfortunately, but the other 95% are going to be alive and happy in creating the new earth. So there's that.
Yeah, this has illusory factors intended to manipulate. It could even be outright untrue, fake, or computer generated imagery. Yep. All right.
Yeah. So be happy, focus on the positive. Thank you all for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you do put stuff in the comments, please don't use the words like the V word and the C word and all that, because you will get my video shut down and blocked from viewing and all that kind of stuff, or me possibly taken down off of YouTube, and we don't want to go there. So please be careful what you say in the comments. Don't, in fact, I might even turn comments off on this. I'm wondering if I shouldn't turn them off, because people are going to start going off and using all these terms that's going to get me removed. I'm going to
Yeah,
shut the
okay,
comments
all right,
off.
yeah.
So if you
Okay.
guys have anything to say to me, you can message Amy or me through our websites. Hers is Amy Satori, AMYSATORI.com. I'll put her website on the link. Amy does private sessions. I've been sending everyone to her because I'm not doing private sessions anymore. I'm only doing group sessions every week for women and classes. That's it. So if you want a private session, go to Amy's website, amysatori.com. You can buy her cards too, I believe, right? You can buy these cards. And then mine is spiritualgrowthjourneys.com if you want to take some classes to grow, energy healing classes, past life regression stuff, whatever. Join the weekly women's group, go to spiritualgrowthjourneys.com. And then Amy, you don't have any books. Do you have books? I can't remember. You don't have a book, do you?
I have a book in me. It hasn't come out yet.
It hasn't come out. Okay. So yeah, my two books, if you haven't checked them out yet, are Ascension 101, A Roadmap for Your Soul, and The Real Fountain of Youth, an Introduction to the Peace Stress Management System. And you can find those also on my website. But please like, share, and subscribe. If you have comments, you can message me on Facebook or through my Spiritual Growth Journeys group on Facebook, or through my page on Facebook if you have a comment you want to share with me. But I am going to have to turn the comments off because I'm getting info right now from my team saying if I put them on, people are going to use a whole bunch of words in there that are going to draw attention from the bad guys, and then they're going to shut the video down. So sorry about that, you all. So yeah, so I'm going to have to turn them off. So, okay.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for joining. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye.